Isabella here, and welcome to a new video. So today's video is going to be me basically ranking the movies that I have seen in 2024, but just the ones that came out in 2024. So the ranking will be as follows. I have four categories. One is great, which is the best category. Good is a movie that was good. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't my favorite of the year. Meh is a movie that I wouldn't say was bad, but it wasn't like really my thing. And then bad, which was just really bad. So without further ado, let's get to doing this. So for this video, I'm gonna start from bad and work my way to the movies that were great, so that way you guys watch through the whole thing. If not, you can always just scroll and try to find the great section. Anyway, so we're gonna start with bad movies of 2024. So let's do a little rant. The first movie on this list is Spin the Bottle. Now, yes, I watched this ridiculous horror flick, and it was totally bonkers and kind of lame. And I don't know how these movies on this list get made, to be honest with you. That's how bad these movies are. But yeah, Spin the Bottle, about this like demon associated with like stuck in this bottle, and these teenagers play Spin the Bottle and end up releasing it. And then they all start dying one by one. And they have to figure out how to stop it. So yeah. Basically the same premise of every stupid horror movie, or every good horror movie, but anyway. Enough said about that one. If you guys have seen it, let me know what you think. The next one is actually a sequel film. It's a Beautiful Wedding. I don't know if you guys know this, but it's based on a book. And it's on Amazon Prime, I believe. It was really bad. The first movie was a totally different tone. The second movie went to being completely ridiculous, and I did not understand it at all. I was like, what is this shift in tone that's absolutely absurd? And I was just like, everyone's acting like a complete idiot. Like, what's going on around here? I mean, good lord. I'm not gonna spoil any of these movies in this video, but that movie was strange. You can look it up if you're curious. Next movie was Night Swim, which I've always wanted to see a haunted pool movie. Now I know why they've never made one until now, because this one was so shitty. And yeah, this demon in a pool, living in the pool, connected to a hot spring. And this dad getting possessed. It's a weird premise. I think the execution was just weird. But yeah, it wasn't my cup of tea, sadly. Then there was this really bad one called Tarot, and basically had to do with tarot cards, and these kids find in this basement a really ancient pack of tarot cards connected to a witch who was persecuted or something, and now she's hunting them down one by one to kill them. So another one of those premises that was just like basic horror stuff, but just the way they executed it was lame. Then the last movie on the bad category is It Ends With Us. I've never read the book, but my mother has, and we watched the film together. And I was like, this movie feels like it's so long. What the hell? It feels like it's so boring and so slow. And I was just like, I mean, I cared about the characters. I cared about the main character, Lily, and the abusive relationship she was going through, but the movie just wasn't that great. Yeah, me and my mom barely wanted to finish it. We were probably going to not finish it, but we did, so. Yeah, we had to push through it. But yeah, those are all the really bad movies of 2024. now we're gonna get to the meh movies, which are the ones that were just not my cup of tea. Guys, so in this category, again, nothing is in any particular order from good or bad. It's just in an order I put randomly. Gladiator 2 is the first one on this list, and it just felt like a rehash of the first one. So, something I would watch once every maybe 5 to 10 years, but nothing that... It was just something to watch when there was nothing to watch, basically. It wasn't that great. Then I watched this Netflix movie, Mother of the Bride, which was with Miranda Cosgrove, and it was just a movie, I guess. It was something to watch again when there was nothing else, but wasn't the most it was a bit funny, but that's all it really had going for it. Yeah. The next one I want to talk about is Imaginary, which basically has to do with a kid who has an imaginary friend, basically a stuffed bear who's like, basically this bear is like, has like an entity inside of it that really wants to like have a, like, never let go of this kid or this woman who's now an adult. I don't really remember the story. That's how not great it was, but it was something to watch one time, and it was something. It wasn't boring, so yeah. Next movie is Hold Your Breath. This one had to do with this mother and her daughters living in this place that's like in the middle of nowhere with sandstorms, and there's some supernatural things that might be going on, but as the audience, you're never certain if it's real or if it's in their heads. And that's basically the story. The next one is The Watchers, which was done by M. Night Shyamalan's daughter. I love the lore and the reveal of the creatures. And some of the characters were good. Some of them were not developed a lot. And it was fun to watch once every 5 to 10 years maybe. But not something I'm really thinking about that often. The next one is Ghostbusters, Frozen Empire. This one felt like a rehash as well of like Ghostbusters 2, and I did not enjoy it because of that. I just felt like it was a film that just didn't need to be made if they were just going to do the same storyline, so did not really care for it. Okay, so this next film I want to talk about is Oddity, and it was definitely odd. That had to do with this psychic who's trying to figure out how her sister got, like, who murdered her sister, and it was pretty easy to guess who did it, so I'm just gonna say it was an okay watch, but not really original by any means. The next movie is Miller's Girl with Jenna Ortega. This one's about, like, a student who who becomes obsessed with their teacher, and in the weird romantic way, and it was not her best film. I was so bored. I did not want to finish that movie. The next one is I Saw the TV Glow, which has a really good message for LGBTQ plus folks, I guess I will call them. But what was happening, the movie felt like a bit of an LSD trip. It was just too weird for me and my mother to understand what was going on, and it was too bizarre, so we didn't finish it, unfortunately, but I guess it was just not our type of movie. This next one, Madam Web, is not in the bad category because actually liked watching it just to make fun of it the whole time. We laughed at the ridiculousness of it, and that was a fun time. So it's a meh movie, but it was definitely fun to laugh at its absurdity. So if you want something to laugh at, go for it. This next movie is Trap, and it's M. Night Shyamalan's new movie, and wasn't my favorite by him. But yeah, just this guy who takes his daughter to a concert, but he's actually like a serial killer that the cops are looking for, and wasn't that great, but it was a good one-time watch or once-in-a-while watch. The next film, Y2K, basically has, who is it? Rachel Zegler in it, but it's not that great. It has these, like, basically it becomes the year 2000, and all the computers and everything go out of whack, and basically come together to try and enslave the human race. And I'm just like, this is not believable, because the AI in 2000 was not smart enough to do that. I don't even think it's smart enough to do that now yet, so it was just a bit ridiculous and unbelievable, but yeah, that's all I'll say about that movie. The next one, Speak No Evil, had James McAvoy in it, and it was interesting. Not something I'd rewatch very frequently, which is why it's in May. But yeah, it's basically this family, they meet this other family, and yeah, this other family has like some dark secrets going on. There's some things that are kind of bizarre going on that I thought was original. Maybe to other people they won't think so, but it was a decent watch. The next one's Deadpool and Wolverine. I'm not a big Deadpool fan, so that's why I didn't really like this movie. But it's not in bad, it's in meh. But yeah, Deadpool movies weren't really for me. The only part I liked about it was Wolverine. So yeah, that was basically it. This next one, Heretic, had a lot of good religious messaging, but the rest of the movie was just bizarre. And I was just like, this dude needs help. But yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about that. Then Megamind versus the Doom Syndicate. I did not think it was bad, but it was definitely meh. The show was definitely a step up from the movie, I feel. But I enjoyed seeing Megamind again. I enjoyed seeing Roxanne again. So that's why I was just like, okay, I can take how not great this movie is, just because I get to see my favorite characters again. And then the last movie on this list is Late Night with the Devil. Basically, it's a late night show, and this guy has a guest on that contacts the other side, and things go shitty. What do you expect? This next list is a bit long, so I'm going to try and be frank. So next is the good movies that I watched this year, and the first one on this list is Wicked. It wasn't my favorite movie of the year, but it was definitely really good, and I think that everyone should watch this movie. I liked getting a backstory for the Wicked Witch. I think it was brilliant, and it was beautiful, the colors. It was just a really fun experience. I don't normally like musicals, and I liked this a lot, so I recommend it. The next movie is the sequel to My Fault on Amazon, which was a huge success. I watched Your Fault recently, and it a lot of things going on. The parents trying to separate the two, and I'm just like, they're step siblings. They're not related by blood. Why are you trying so hard to keep them apart? I'm just like, and then in the end of the movie, well, things don't go so well. So I was just very depressed after that movie. But I had a fun time seeing what the parents were trying to do to separate them, seeing how their relationship was going after the first movie, and how they were gonna sneak around and try to do whatever they were doing. So yeah, it was entertaining. The next one I watched was a movie called Players. I think it was on Netflix, and it had Tom Ellis in it, and I had a fun time watching it. It was really fun. It was funny. It was sweet. It was like, girl, the man that you want has been right in front of you the whole time. Like, what are you doing? But I had fun with it. Then this next one, Upgraded, was on Amazon, and it had Archie Renault from Shadow and Bone in it, and it had the girl from Riverdale, and it was fun. She meets this guy when she gets upgraded to first class on the plane, and she starts by like telling him she's some famous person when really she's not, and then in the end he finds out the truth and things go awry. But you know what, it was a fun little romance movie and I enjoyed it, so it was cute. The next one I watched was Monster Summer, and it was very 80s-esque / 90s-esque. It felt very much like a Stranger Things kind of thing, where this kid is trying to hunt down this like witch that's taking kids' souls in his town and other places all over the country, and he and this retired like cop or something like that try to figure out what's going on and find this person who's doing this to all these kids, and I really had fun with it. The next one was The First Omen, which I absolutely loved it. I was having such a fun time. I was like, this is the best one out of all of them. I was just like, this poor lady though. Poor girl, man. Sheesh. Having the child of Satan must not be great. Anyway. The next one, Salem's Lot, was based on a Stephen King novel. And I love vampire stories, so of course I love this one. This guy comes back to his town, but suddenly there's this new guy in town who no one really knows, no one's seen him, but he's basically a vampire and he's been lurking around, and kids disappear and things like that. And yeah, basically this vampire almost takes over the whole town, and it was very fun. The next movie is Immaculate, which is another movie that has to do with basically a nun having the child of Satan, which is like, I love this trope. I don't know why, but it was interesting and I had fun with it. So I was just like, hey, Sydney Sweeney, this isn't really your type of thing to do horror, but I had fun with it. Again, it was a fun horror movie. I enjoyed it. Did it feel a bit too much like The First Omen? A little, but it still felt like its own thing. The next movie is Damsel from Netflix. I had fun with this film. I know some people didn't really. I happened to really enjoy it. It was a fun little thing to watch. I like princess stories, so it was really fun to see her fight the dragon and all that jazz. I really enjoyed seeing Millie Bobby Brown in it. And you know what? It was just something fun to watch, and I really had a great time. The next one, Despicable Me 4, I feel like wasn't the strongest of all the movies. I definitely felt like it wasn't really necessary to do another one. But I watched it. Is it a movie I'll be thinking about often? No. This next one, that was on Crave, Caddo Lake. Really great twist. I highly recommend this movie. You have no idea what's going on. It's like totally incredible. I loved this story. Basically this girl goes missing and you think she's dead, but I will not give away what actually happens. It's really good. Just watch it. Next one is Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, which I'm not a big Planet of the Apes person, so the fact that I put this in good, I had fun with it. Will I think about it often? Probably not. But it definitely wasn't meh. So, yeah. This next one's also a vampire movie, Abigail. I really had fun with this. I was worried it was going to be not that great because people were saying that, but this ballerina vampire was kick-ass. I really liked the characters in here. It was really fun to be stuck with them in this house and, like, trying to, like, figure out how to outmaneuver this young vampire little girl, and it was, like, I dug it. It was fun. I highly recommend for just some cheap thrills. Then I watched this mystery movie thriller called Long Legs, and people were raving about it. I felt like it was good. Was it great? Nah, but I think the twist really was interesting. And that's why I put it in good, because I felt like the twist was something I didn't see coming, so it was great. The next movie, Nutcrackers, was a Christmas movie with Ben Stiller, I believe. And I thought it was wholesome and a sweet family story, and it had a Nutcracker ballet in it, which was great. And yeah, it's a fun little holiday film. Next one, Smile 2, was a horror movie as well, and it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I'm just kind of fed up of this demon always winning. If that's how every one of these movies is gonna be, I'm gonna be fed up with by the time the third movie or fourth movie comes around. But yeah, was it fun? Yeah. Did I feel bad for these? Do I feel bad for all these characters getting killed by this demon? Yes. So, yeah. The next one, Twisters, was a fun movie. I felt it was like more of a, not a reboot, but it was like maybe a reboot. I don't know. It was good. I liked the new characters. I had a fun time. Had some good actors in it that I really enjoyed watching. And yeah, they're basically chasing these storms and trying to get readings. Basically like the first one, but it's like a little bit of a different story, a tiny bit. Then the next one, Beetlejuice 2. I don't know how to feel about it. It was good, but I think the first one's still better. And I don't even love the first one, but I do enjoy it. But yeah, it was fun to see the characters again later in life, and that's why I had a good time. Moana 2 was actually pretty good. I don't have anything negative to say. It feels a little less good than the first one, but not by much to me. I enjoyed seeing Maui again. I enjoyed seeing Moana again. I enjoyed their little journey. Yeah, I dug it. It was fun. Is it my favorite Disney movie? No, but it was definitely entertaining. And now the next one, Never Let Go, is also a kind of horror movie where there's this mother and her two sons, and she's just basically like really protective of them, and you're like, these creatures she's telling them about in the woods, are they really real, or are they just lies that she's spewing to keep her kids like close to her? And it was fun. I did not expect the ending, and it was really good. The next one, Nosferatu, was also a vampire movie, and I really enjoyed it. I loved it. I thought that the director did a great job. I loved the actors. Like Nicholas Hoult was in it, Lily Rose Depp. Loved all of them. Willem Dafoe was great. I liked the story. I felt like they changed the Dracula story slightly, and I liked that. And I felt like it was a different take. And even though most of the story is pretty much the same, I still really enjoyed it. And that's it for my good section. I'm sorry this video is so long, but now we're in the great section, which is short, so let's get this over with. Alright, so the first one on my list is Alien Romulus. Now, I like the Alien franchise a lot, and I especially loved seeing Archie Renault in this, and I loved the characters. They were great. I got really attached to them. There's this android who I also really got attached to, and what I loved about this one too is that it connects to Prometheus a little bit, and I love those prequels. They're my favorites, and I'm so glad that they're technically canon in this Alien universe, and they've mentioned it in other movies outside of the Prometheus story movies. So it was great to have that confirmed. I had a blast. The aliens, it's always the same story, right? People trapped on a ship trying to kill all these aliens and whatnot, but was it still fun? Yes, I had a great time. The next one is Dune Part 2, and I liked it better than the first one, but that's because a lot more happened in this one. And I pretty much knew the story, and I was still like shook. Timothée Chalamet does a perfect job as this character, and I love Zendaya as his love interest. I think it was just I'm just loving this story and these characters, and I can't wait to see what happens in the next film. The next one is The Wild Robot, which was a tearjerker, not gonna lie. This movie actually almost made me cry. It was so emotional, so sweet, and it just touches your heart, and I highly recommend watching this animated movie. It was so good, and it just had a lot to say about family. Is like, not always, blood is not always important, and I really liked that. The next one was Inside Out 2, which I had a really personal connection to as a person with anxiety, and I loved how it was portrayed. I loved the character of anxiety. I loved seeing, how they showed anxiety and, like, its physical representation, as well as how it manifests in Riley, and I felt like it was super accurate. I really was happy with their portrayal, and I wish that they'd come out with this movie when I was younger and unsure of what the heck I was going through, because as a child, I did not know what anxiety even was. So I was suffering with nothing to help me, and this movie would have been great to have. The next movie is Shelby Oaks, which is done by a YouTuber on the YouTube, and what was his name again? Chris Stuckman. I went to see this at Fantasia. It was so good. It's my favorite horror movie of the year, I think. I absolutely love this movie, and I highly recommend just go and watch it. I'm not even going to say anything about it. That's how good it was. It's like, just so good. You have to go see it. It has an abandoned town. It has just all kinds of effed up stuff, but it was really good. Yeah. So it's like a horror movie, and yeah. The last movie on this list, Sonic the Hedgehog 3. I loved Shadow before. I think I love him even more now. Like, I'm a crazy fanatic. Like, him and Maria in the movie were so sweet. I didn't cry, but I was close to it. I don't typically cry during films, but oh my god. This movie was so good. It touched me in ways that I was like, I will never be the same. I can't stop thinking about this movie. I think it's one of my favorites of the whole year. I want to go see it again. You know, a movie is good when I want to go see it twice in the theater. Alright guys, so that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please give a thumbs up so I know to do more movie videos, because I kind of like doing these, so I will continue to do them. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.